Hey guys, it's Sam. Today I decided to do an updated video about my Portland leather goods collection, and today I'm bringing you my 5 most used bags from Portland leather. So while I have many bags that are in my collection that I love, these are the ones that day in and day out I am choosing that are the most used in my rotation, and just the ones that I think work best for my life, my lifestyle, and what I need to bring on any given day. I'll go ahead and mention, for those of you who are watching this when the video goes live, that Portland Leather Goods is currently having like a Valentine's Day sale, and I will leave my ambassador link and the current sale coupon in the description box. I do earn if you use my link. There's no pressure to use it. If you found this video helpful, I do appreciate it if you decide to use the link. Portland Leather no longer uses ambassador codes. There was just a lot of issues with bots and things with those codes, so they did away with them entirely. So let's go ahead and get started. This one is the bag that I've currently been using the last several days, and unfortunately this particular color has been retired. This is Dune, and if you've watched any of my previous videos, this is actually not the first Dune that I started with. I did sell that one. I was not enjoying this particular bag in a pebbled leather because it didn't really hold its shape and structure as much. I do have probably the most colors in this particular variation, more than any other, except for possibly the mini size in my collection. But this one is Dune. I found it on the Portland Leather Buy Sell Trade. No, there is Buy Sell Trade, but it's within the Portland Leather Groupies page. But I saw this one and it just had really fat pebbling in some places, and I really loved it, and so I decided to go ahead and snag it up. I have moments where I don't appreciate the slouch, and then I have moments where I do appreciate the slouch. So I only have 2 of the pebbled bags in this variety, and then I have several of the smooth leathers. But this one is the full-size Crossbody Tote, and it comes in lots of different names. If you go to the website, it's just going to be called the Crossbody Tote, but if you go to the Groupies page, some people are going to call it full size, some people are going to call it large. But of the Crossbody Totes in Portland Leather Goods collection currently, this is the largest size, and all of the other Crossbody Totes that you'll find have a shorter handle, and that is one thing that sometimes I wish I had in this, because you have this longer strap to carry it crossbody, which honestly I usually just carry it on my shoulder either way, and then you have the 2 handles here. These are detachable and you can remove them, but there's nothing to like do a quick grab. So if I'm like in my car and I get to work, I kind of usually grab it up like this to then put it on my shoulder. But this one also has more ability to carry and all the things, unlike the other crossbody totes from Portland Leather. This one also has the, what is that, north and south, I don't know what it's called, layout, as opposed to the east and west. And so it's really nice because even when you have it fully packed, often you have a good bit of space at the top. So if you like run out and grab some snacks or something, you can just throw them in the top of the bag. If you have a little sweater or something, you can throw it in the top of here, and you're going to be good to go throughout the day. This one I love because I feel like I can carry all of the things and still have room for just in case. And I just really like the way this particular bag, whether it's smooth or pebbled, just kind of hugs the body. And since it's that north and south, you don't have it in the way when you are moving, because it kind of stays close into your body and you don't feel like you have anything jutting out. So I really, really like this design, and I use it quite frequently. I will go ahead and show you what I have in this particular bag so you kind of can get an idea of what is inside. And there's a view while it's filled. I'm not going to do like a top down because these videos that are facing me are a little harder to set up, so we're just going to stay in one spot here. I have personal rings as my planner, and that fits great. I also have a second backup planner. This is actually also from Portland Leather, harder to get your hands on, but this is the small snap journal, and it comes with lined pages, but I have replaced it with a monthly pocket Moleskine and a field notes notebook, just kind of tucked in to where the notebook was tucked in. And then I just have a pen clipped here. So when I do transfer to a smaller bag like the toaster, I will just take this little planner instead of my main planner so that I still have something to write on, and I still know like a running to-do list, my appointments, and that kind of thing. So that's in there just in case. The next item that I have in here is my Bifold wallet, and this is one of my newer Portland leather purchases. I'm obsessed with all things Lagoon, and if you're watching this video January, February, I would definitely, if you like this shade, definitely run and go purchase it because it is a limited run on this color and I absolutely love it. It does have the contrasting stitching, which some people don't like, but I actually adore. And some people, they will go in and color the thread in with Sharpie if they don't like that. But for me, I really enjoy it. So this particular wallet holds all of the cards, but it's super, super slim, and it's really easy to get in and out of this one. So you have a place for cash here, another place for cash or whatever here, and then you have on this side 2 main card slots and a zipper, which is super smooth for change or what have you. And then on the other side, you have 6 card slots. So I had scaled way down. For years now, I've been carrying just like a little Vera Bradley card wallet or one of the smaller Portland leather like envelope wallets that are literally super tiny. But I have a couple of different debit cards now that we're like tucking money into for like a trip fund and such. And then I have a couple of insurance card with my new job that I need to carry with me instead of like one. And so I've just kind of expanded the need. I really try to simplify and only use Apple Wallet as much as possible, but I really need to have some of these cards with me at all times. So upgraded my wallet, super happy with this. Probably will get another color at least, probably a nutmeg in this one, but I really just kind of wanted a contrasting color because I know that it'll pop with all of the browns that I'm usually wearing. Gosh, I didn't realize how like many Portland leather things I have in my bag. This is the Sidekick from Portland Leather. This one is also in the color Dune, still discontinued. And I usually just keep some junk that I want to carry around with me. I have a little baby scissors, I have a little nail file, some emergency pills, chapstick, a pen, a highlighter, and these True Lemon packets. And all of this kind of is a conglomerate of things. I've used a bunch of the different pouches from Portland Leather, and this used to be only like my pen pouch, but I just realized I don't need to bring as many pens with me as I normally do. I have a lot of pens at work, I have a lot of pens at home, and I need only a couple of pens with me at all times. So instead of bulking my bag up with a bunch of different bags, I just put everything into this Sidekick. Personally, I do have this in honey, but I do prefer the kind of smushier leathers. It makes it easier to kind of scrunch in if you're gonna really fill up your bag. And I just think they feel really nice because they have all that give. Let's see, next 2 things here. I've got one of the eyeglasses case. This has my sunglasses inside. This one is in honey, and then this one is also in honey. This is the Daisy wallet, and I keep my AirPods Pro in this one. And something random here on the bottom. Oh, my receipt for the glasses that I just ordered. And then this one has a back pocket. It's pretty big. And then in here I have a couple of gift cards that I didn't want to continue bulking up my wallet with. Hand sanitizer, chapstick, lip gloss, some lens wipes, which I could move into the Sidekick, random scratch notes, another chapstick, and an empty Burt's Bees hand lotion. So that's all in the main bag. And then in the front pocket here, I just have this little pouch that I keep. This is from a little shop on Shopify that I absolutely love called Simple October. I have many of these little pouches. I also have a bunch of like coffee cup cozies also from her. And I just keep my keys in here, and I keep it in this nice fabric pouch so it doesn't scratch up any of my leathers. when you look inside the pockets here, that's all like the same leather on the outside. So I just, if I don't have to damage or scratch my leather, I don't want to. So this is super light. Dune is one of the lightest leathers that Portland Leather offered. And I really hope that they come out with something similar to this. Not really sure why they discontinued it, but it's one of my favorite leathers that I've ever had. I did get rid of most of the things that I had in Dune otherwise, just because I've learned while I've collected what I prefer and what I don't prefer in different styles. But for this style bag, I really love this particular leather. So that's what I have been carrying today and the last several days. Next up, I have a collection over here. Next up, I'm gonna go with the medium tote. And the medium tote is the perfect size for me. I have found that most people in the group either do a medium or a large. I find the large a little too large. I feel like my stuff swims around. If you carry more than me, then you'd probably want a large. But if you carry about the same or a little less, I would still suggest the medium. I think that the small is overly small and it just doesn't work for me. Unless you carry very little and or you are very petite, I would not suggest the small, but if those things apply, then I would suggest the small. Now, all of these things that I just had in the other bag are going to fit in this one. I'm not going to pick up the scratch paper. That's kind of irrelevant, but all of that fits in here just fine with room to spare. Really, the biggest difference is this one is a little bit wider and it's a little less tall. Still has room to top it off, but just not as much. Of course, this doesn't have any crossbody handles, but I love this one. In this particular bag, I have found two things after collecting. I prefer the classic in a smooth leather. I like how it holds its shape better and it doesn't collapse in on itself. I do like the pebbled leathers, but only if it's in the zippered variety. But I would say my all-time preference for this particular bag is going to be the smooth leather without a zipper. So that's my preference. So this one I also have in a couple of different colors. I have found through collecting though, that I guess I'm just rather boring. I generally do not grab colors. I make sure in bags like this that I have the main neutrals. So I have this in honey, I have this in grizzly, I have this in black with tan handles, and then I have a couple of the pebbled leathers in a zippered variety, but I had a bunch of different colors that I ultimately sold because I just wasn't grabbing for them. I kept like saving them for a special occasion, so the neutrals were getting used the most, and I just decided that it wasn't worth it to have them sitting around. A lot of people are also neutral lovers. I definitely suggest sticking with the neutral route at first. Or if it's your first purchase, to go for the mystery box. Because if you start collecting a bunch of these bags, the chances are higher that you're going to get a repeat in a mystery box if you go that route. So either go for a neutral or go for a mystery straight out of the gate. So moving on from here, and I wanted to kind of show you also that even though these bags are quite different, they mostly fit the same thing. And I think that these bags are in my favorite list because I don't have to worry about really downgrading what I'm carrying to make sure that I can still use this bag. So let's go next with, let's just keep with the totes. So this is another of the crossbody tote. This one is also in Lagoon. I love this color so much. Like I said, majorly downgrading in the colors, but Lagoon is to me the perfect boho teal, and it just makes me really happy. It's a pebbled leather, so I've gotten several things in this particular color, and like I said, if you're seeing this in January, February, please grab it up if you love this color because it'll be gone. This particular bag will not hold as many things, but I feel like it holds enough. So if I have to make some decisions, if I really, really wanted to just bring my bigger ring planner, it's gonna fit in there, but it will quickly feel heavy. So I'll just go ahead and put my wallet and my planner. This one does not have a back pocket, and I think I neglected to mention, this one has a back pocket, also has that front pocket, but this one doesn't have any kind of interior pocket. So I would have to say probably on any given day when I'm using the mini, I would choose to bring my sunglasses, my planner, my wallet, and hand sanitizer. Also, I would just go ahead and transfer my keys up here. Of course, if I downgraded my planner, it's going to weigh less and possibly give you more room. If you don't carry a planner or anything larger like that, a lot of people carry books in these, so this would definitely fit a paperback book and some hardback books. But this one is actually a really good size in my opinion. I was initially really excited about the medium, but I have found the medium size to be the one that I carry the least out of all of them. And I just kind of feel like with the way the bag is built, if I carry more in it like I do the medium size tote variety, it just feels heavier. And I think that it's the way the distribution of the crossbody strap is. The mini feels good, but it also keeps you from having an abundant amount of items in here. So the crossbody strap isn't cumbersome, but for the medium, for just me personally, I feel like it is. I also don't usually like to carry these bags with super wide straps that you can get from other places. So that's just like a personal preference. If you love the medium, definitely. If you want to get another kind of strap to distribute the weight more evenly on you, go for it. So it carries most of the things that I need on a daily basis, making the mini one of the bags that I reach for the most often as well. Also, this one is the least expensive of all of the options that I'm showing today. So it makes it a little easier to collect. Getting the mini in mystery boxes is super fun. All right, so we're gonna move on to the last one before the cheater. This one is one of my favorite bags of all time, not just Portland leather, all time. I fell in love with this bag. This was one of my very first purchases. So I first ordered a Nutmeg mini. And I do need the extender strap, so it makes these fun colors a little more difficult for me if I'm going to wear it as a crossbody. This one I have set up for a shoulder carry in length, but I ordered the Nutmeg and I was like, I don't know that this is for me, even though I love the leather, because I wasn't carrying it. I can carry it crossbody, but it doesn't hit my hip where I want it to. So I was like, well, I guess the mini isn't for me. I've since discovered how to make it work, but I moved on to a tote backpack. This is actually not the original tote backpack that I ordered. I ended up getting a Dune of this one, and then I was like, don't be a collector, and I sold my Nutmeg to a friend. But I love this particular variety of bags so much. I decided to repurchase it. I do not regret it one bit. I love how warm and rich this particular leather is, and I love the way it pops with that cream stitching. So the thing that I love about this bag is that I can fit everything that I was carrying in the other two larger bags in this one with no trouble at all. It's a little bit a closer fit, so I feel like even when I'm in a hurry and I run and toss my bag into my car, things don't get all shifted around like they can get in the totes. You wouldn't have as much opportunity to expand on them, like throwing a sweater or whatever, if you pack it this full, but it holds all of the things. And I really, really love this one for days out running errands. Let me just go ahead and fill it with the rest of the stuff. I won't put the back pocket in because I think this takes too long, but I think you get the point. So this is like all of the things that I had in the bigger totes, and it still doesn't feel like too stuffed. You could still fit a couple of things in there. This one also has the back pocket that I put my hand sanitizer. I always just do the same thing in all of the bags. And it also has this front pocket, which makes it super convenient. I love that this one has this little handle here. So if it's sitting in my car and I get to work, I just grab it up like this and then sling it over my shoulder. This one I love when we're out running errands because I will be in a store and I don't want to put my bag down for, theft reasons and stuff. And I will wear this on both shoulders as a backpack. Super comfortable, the most comfortable backpack I've actually ever worn, and it's a beautiful leather, which is a plus. Also, a thing that I have found with other backpacks out there is that the hardware like seems to be super heavy, weighs it down, and is noisy. And this backpack is not like that at all. I just love it so much. So this one is the Tote backpack in Nutmeg, and I have found, just my personal preference, that this particular style, I prefer this in the pebbled leather. I have one in honey, which I'm going to be parting with in the Portland Leather Groupies page, hopefully. I love honey so much, but I have just found with the backpack variety, I really just prefer a pebbled leather. I love the way that it hugs your body. I also neglected to mention that in the mini, I really don't have a preference. I love them in the pebbled, I love them in the smooth leather, but I feel like with its size, it doesn't really matter. All right, so moving on, this is the cheater of the group. This one was something that I couldn't decide between, and I just decided I wasn't gonna make myself choose, but they're ultimately like the same bag, so I decided to just go ahead and include them both. So this is the bucket bag, and so this is the bucket crossbody, and this is the bucket backpack. Sorry, it's super cloudy here today. This is in terracotta, which was available a couple of years ago. I got it on the buy, sell, trade albums. This one is Sedona, which is also being retired. This is another one that I just don't understand, but I know that they have to keep things fresh. But these bags are ultimately the same bag. They just have this like beautiful drawstring design. The difference is this one has some added pieces of leather to make it a backpack, and this one does not. So this one has a long crossbody strap, and this one works just fabulous for me. I don't have to worry about it not being too long. It hits me everywhere I want it to, and it's just this kind of open boho, beautiful. I just love it. It does have that back pocket inside, but that's it. So that would be a drawback maybe for some people. I also love this one when I'm running errands. I do feel like because of the long crossbody thinner strap, which is not detachable, I'll note, that I try not to overly fill this one because it will start feeling heavy. I also have this in small, which is great also for running errands because obviously it holds less and it's going to be a little bit lighter. So this one fits all of the things, again, that I have fit into this backpack. The only thing that I would obviously caution you against would be to overfill it if you don't like to carry a lot of weight on your shoulder. So this one kind of has a more like circular feel to the inside, so you kind of have to load it up a bit differently than I have the other bags that I've shown, but it will fit all of these things. You just have to get a little Tetris-y with it. Gonna toss them in there. So that's everything except for the back pocket, and then of course I'd have to just throw my keys on top, but it still has some room. When I'm carrying this, if I do carry my ringed planner, I omit some other things just for the sake of weight. But let's just say I was going out with this bag right now, I would probably just carry my smaller planner, my wallet. I wouldn't even need my AirPods case necessarily, but I'd bring my sunglasses. I'm not gonna need that today, but look how much room is left in this one. So the small also works really well in this particular bag, and I feel like its size is deceptive because the small carries so much. This one's the large, and sometimes I feel it's a little too large, and the small carries more than you'd think. So I feel like the backpack, I don't know if there's like officially anything on the website saying so, but I feel like the backpack is not as big as the large and not as small as the small. But I love this backpack. It's not as maybe functional as the tote backpack because it doesn't have that zipper on the front. But this one, I just love the way that it looks. It has that slouchy, relaxed boho feel to it, and I just adore this one. I have this one in Sedona, and then I also have it in that Lagoon color because I love it so much. I feel like this one is really good in those like boho colors because this has the boho vibe to it. So this one has the inside pocket, and it does have this piece of leather from where the flap is made that you could store something in here if you absolutely needed to. The straps are a little bit wider than the tote backpack, and then they get thinner. So it's a slightly different design. So it closes with the drawstring, and then it also has a magnetic flap. Some people do not like that you need to do two things to get this one closed. I don't think it's that big of a deal. Again, this one is great because if you're not carrying much at all, you can cinch it in really tightly. And if you're carrying more, you can let it be really loose. This one, I just love the style of it. It also has that handle that you can grab up really easily. I will also mention that in both of these, both the small and the large, and then the backpack, it's only pebbled leathers just because of the kind of bag that it is. But I wouldn't want these in a smooth leather anyway because it kind of kills the aesthetic, which is the point. I have seen some people do some like DIY stuff to these particular bags, adding some like metal grommets to it, doing DIY hacks so that you can change out the crossbody strap with this one in particular. I'm not into hacking up my bags, and I think that the little metal grommets look a little busy, but that's just my personal opinion. But just know that some hacks are out there if you wanted to do that. I did also, now I really, really, truly have been collecting less bags. But like I said, I am completely obsessed with Lagoon, and it's the one color that has just grabbed me, and I've had to have all of them. So the other day on the website, they finally came out with a large Lagoon bucket. And so I ordered it. I got it in the Almost Perfect. So I wanted to show you like a live experience from that. So the Almost Perfect sometimes can have some defects to them, markings. Like this one looks like it has like maybe a scratch to it here. It's kind of hard to tell, or it could just be part of the hide. I'm sure you could probably not see that, but most of the time when I get something from Almost Perfect, I really can't tell. And I generally choose from Almost Perfect because they're a little less expensive. And generally the thing that makes them Almost Perfect is those are the bags that have been chosen with some different variation in the texture. Like that dune bag that I showed you that had the really fat pebbles in the corner, that was probably an Almost Perfect when the first owner received it. So you see how tightly this was cinched up, but how much it expands when you get it all open. So this is really great. The one thing that I will mention is with the darker leathers, they do have usually a little bit of a stronger scent from the dye to them when you first get it, but it does dissipate. So this Lagoon has a little bit of a chemical smell from the dye, but that will go away. The Nutmeg has that scent if you do not prefer that. The honey is probably the most yummy smelling of all of the Portland leathers that I have received personally. So if that is something that bothers you, either be prepared to sit it somewhere to air out or avoid those particular leathers. They don't bother me at all. It's something that I notice the first few days, and then after that it's good. I think it kind of smells like a leather shoe store. So I guess it just depends on your preference. A lot of people have said that they will leave them out in the sun or put them in a spare room or their garage for a day while it kind of airs out. I think that the problem is that so many people are wanting Portland leather bags these days. They don't get a time period of rest between production and shipment out to you, which is a good problem, I guess, for a company to have. But this one is definitely going to be a keeper. There's just something about this particular shade of teal that I just really, really love. So we actually have some errands to run today, so now I have to decide which bag I want to bring with me. Usually on a day of errands, I don't bring one of my larger totes just because if we're going to be running around and I know that I'm going to be hanging onto my bag more, I like to carry something that's going to be a little bit more comfortable. And honestly, these days I carry more than I need most of the time because just in case, right? I'm out of the house all day. Probably isn't going to be this beauty unless I change my shirt because this isn't going to go well together. But that is my top 5, really my top 6 bags from Portland Leather. Oh, maybe I'll carry a mini today. If you have any questions about any of these bags that I haven't answered for you, please reach out in the comments. I'm happy to answer any of the questions that you might have. I'm not going to be able to fit all of these in here. You know what? I think I'm going to carry my backpack, my tote backpack. I choose this one pretty frequently. I'll just fill it with less things so it's not as heavy. But yes, I hope that this video was helpful for you. Which of these bags are the favorite for you? I'd love to hear about it in the comments below. Don't forget that I do have that ambassador link in the description box. No pressure if you'd like to use it. I appreciate it. I'll also have currently the code. I'm not going to keep that updated though. So if you're here in March, it's not going to be the right code. I look forward to hearing your thoughts in the comments below. Just let me know what your favorite bag is. Ask any questions that I haven't answered for you. Can't wait to hear from you in the comments. Thanks so much for watching this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you again soon. Bye guys.